Good morning and welcome back to the program. I'm hanging out with Bret Schroetlin, our Grand County Sheriff. And before we get on with the interview here, a big thanks to the Village at Winter Park Resort. Check them out at winterparkresort.com. Huge weekend going on right now. We have Colorado Free Ride Festival, which is one of my favorite weekends of the year. We got a lot of international talent coming in on mountain bikes, freestyle competitions, doing huge jumps. We got the Intergalactic Pond Crossing open to the public. I might be participating again this year. So far, I've gotten wet every time. I've never made it across that pond. But Village at Winter Park Resort, Friday night live music from 4 to 6, and movies to follow. So back with Bret Schroetlin, our sheriff of Grand County, and so in 2015 is when you started, January 2015. Right. You went from being an officer, doing the duties of an officer, to a sheriff. And I'm guessing responsibilities changed greatly. I mean, how much would you say overlap is there between your current job, just being basically, just enforcing the law, versus all the other duties you have to do?
So, as a police officer, my job was to respond to calls, be the uniform presence, work a shift. Mm-hmm. When you're the sheriff, you kind of work a 24/7, 365 shift.
Did you know what you were getting into when you signed up for this?
Did.
Okay,
yeah,
okay. Or was everyone going, we talked him into it,
But besides being responsible for yourself, now you're responsible for the 52 employees at the sheriff's office that I have.
52 is what your office is.
52. And we do all different types of things to benefit the county. A lot of people use the word law enforcement. And a large portion of what we do really isn't law enforcement. It's not us arresting people. It's not, making people have criminal records, nothing like that. I mean, we do that, and that's just part of the job that we have to do. But there's so much more that goes into it. As a sheriff, I'm statutorily mandated to, respond to calls like I mentioned before. But we also have to maintain a jail. We have to maintain civil process. So if someone's going to get evicted, or if there's other civil paperwork that needs to be done, we're the process server that handles that. And that is a very in-depth deal that we have to do with the sheriff's office. We're in charge of wildland fire. As the sheriff, I'm the wildland fire marshal for the county. We're in charge.
This is a big deal locally, because anytime there's a small little fire anywhere, you got to get on top of that, or it could get out of control. We've got a whole other problem when we're in the news. Is that?
Absolutely. The fire is a whole other piece that's kind of unique in Colorado, in that the sheriff is the fire warden. Most people don't expect that, and so we have that. We have search and rescue. Search and rescue, and all the great volunteers of search and rescue fall underneath of the sheriff's office as well.
And are you in charge? Obviously, there's budgets for all these different departments. Is that one of your roles, is to kind of be in charge of all the different spending and hiring and the thing, or do you have people under you that kind of help?
I do. Ultimately, it falls with me. The commissioners issue us a budget every year that covers all of these different components of our office. And then I have an administrative lieutenant that runs all of our financial components and keeps us down to the penny every year.
So you're working a lot with county commissioners.
We work a lot with the county commissioners, with the county manager, the county commissioners, the other elected officials, emergency management, the police chiefs, the fire chiefs, all these types of people. We work together as a great team.
And how big of a budget are you managing?
We're about $5.2 million.
$5.2 million. That you went from, once again, just enforcing the law to now you've got this huge budget you got to try and run in all these different departments. And am I right that if you find or see a stray dog or something, you need to report that? That's the sheriff's office as well?
It is. We have 3 animal control officers and we manage a shelter. And so we pick up dogs countywide, dogs, cats, any other critter that might come along that's...
What are some unusual tasks that you might have that are unique to our area, unique to the small town in the mountain setting? Whether it's bears, maybe did you get calls on a bear in the backyard, or what are some unique, unusual calls that you might get?
We're right in the middle of bear season. A couple weeks ago, we had a report of a bear inside of a common area at a large commercial facility.
Inside?
Inside. So our officers go to that, and it's one of those things where you got to think on your feet and problem solve and figure out how you're going to get this bear out of this building.
Well, let's just get to it. How did you get the bear out of the building?
Usually it's just to manage of kind of...
A jar of honey or what? No, I'm just kidding.
usually it's just to manage, just thinking of a way to get them out. Open up some doors and kind of just encourage them to move along. But we have that. Any type of wildlife, we call them moose jams.
Yep.
People see a moose on the side of the road.
Moose jam. The cameras come out.
Here's the moose jam. Here's all the people from all 50 states at the same time, and they're there. and the road's not moving because they're there. They just stop.
See,
And so we get called to those, and it's usually just kind of a polite, hey, pull over, use your camera on the side of the road versus the middle of the road.
oh, so they'll actually just stop, roll the window down, and that's what's going on. And then the next car does the same
They
thing.
just stop right here, right now.
Once in a lifetime for them, but for us, it's kind of a common occurrence. It's like, all right, keep the road moving. Yeah.
And you know, with a big county like we have thousands and thousands of acres of Forest Service and BLM. And so that brings in its whole new issues. You know, we have ATV accidents, dirt bike accidents, snowmobile accidents in the winter. All those fall under the jurisdiction of the sheriff's office. And this past weekend, we had an ATV accident up at Stillwater Pass at the same time as we had a gentleman 10 miles back into the Radium Road with a broken leg. And both of those take deputies and manpower, and working well with our other agencies.
And search and rescue, you said, is through your department as well.
It is.
So, you know, managing all the volunteers, because that's a huge volunteer organization. I mean, you're spread pretty thin.
They have about 35 volunteers, and we couldn't do it without them. They're kind of their own unique organization underneath of the sheriff's office.
So is the radio ringing constantly I mean, when are you off? Well, when do you get to go out to dinner and turn the thing off and say, you know?
You don't really.
Or is it a Tombstone pizza at home and that's the most peace you're going to get, so you just enjoy it, huh?
You know, with technology and these new cool smartphones that they give us, you're never more than just a phone call or an app away. We have special apps set up on our phones that we get notified of certain incidents as they come out. So search and rescues, deaths, serious accidents, anything like that.
Major stuff.
Immediately our command staff gets notified that our staff is responding to that stuff.
It's all hands on deck. All right, we got to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about a pretty hot topic the last couple of years, and that's pot and what's going on with pot in Grand County and in the state in general. So once again, we're hanging out with Bret Schroetlin, our Grand County Sheriff right here in Grand County. Thanks for all you do, and we'll be back in a moment.